Hey, Krista.
Hey, Sarah.
We're back for season 2, baby.
Right? Who would have thought we'd be back for another one?
I know. We still have so many things to talk about.
So I guess I'll see you Tuesday? Hey, girl.
Hey, how's it going?
It's going pretty good. How are you doing?
Great as always. Do you want to tell the listeners what we are chatting about today?
I can certainly try. We're going to talk about conspiracy theories. Conspiracy theory, if I were to define it, would be what? Theories or ideologies that are going around that people believe to be true that potentially don't have any scientific evidence backing it, maybe? Just wild stories.
Absolutely. Let's get into it. What do you have for us?
I think we can start off slow and just talk about the age-old conspiracy theory of, like, the U.S. landing on the moon and that being, like, a hoax.
Yes, that's like, I feel like that's one of like the top ones when you Google conspiracy theories. That one always pops up.
Do you believe that they landed on the moon?
Yeah. Do you not?
I'll honestly say that I never researched it myself to validate whether it to be true, but I've talked to just a handful, so this is just anecdotal, people who are really into space. I just happen to always meet people that have like weird eccentric interests. They always happen to be guys that I'm talking to from a dating perspective, so I guess take that with a grain of salt. But two different guys on two different occasions who are heavily in love with space said that it was not real. Now, they didn't provide me said evidence to that effect, but I didn't consider them complete idiots either, so I was like, oh, interesting. So I don't know.
But why would they lie about that?
Because they were trying to beat the Soviet Union to the moon. It was a race. So in order to say that they won, because we do know that the U.S. change history, right? Like, no disrespect to American listeners, but as a Canadian, we do know by proxy or observe that the U.S. has a tendency to like rewrite history in their favor. If people don't want to believe me, any American that's listening, the War of 1812. Do you know what that is? Have you ever heard of the War of 1812? No, you want to know why? Because you lost against Canada. That's a good example. So,
Okay, so give me the timeline. So when did the Americans land or supposedly land on the moon versus the Soviet Union? Like, was it like years apart or like months apart?
Girl, I didn't research that. The landing happened in 1969. So whether Soviet Union did it afterwards, I mean, I don't know. If they ever got there, maybe they never got there. I don't think there's been a lot of moon landings since then. Maybe a few others. I don't know. But I'm literally speculating at this point, so I don't want to sound stupid either.
Well, yeah, and I also, do they make a big deal when someone lands on the moon nowadays? I feel like the astronauts are working on more, I don't want to say important things, but different things up in space, right? Like, are they, is it newsworthy when someone lands on the moon nowadays? I don't know.
I would still think that it is. Any planet, I think, that's not Earth is. Like, I couldn't tell you what the astronauts are working on, to be quite honest. They're sending satellites there to look at Earth. I know that for sure. But I'm like, don't we kind of like have an idea about how Earth operates? Okay, the satellite says, we have a hole in our ozone layer. Like, got it.
Great. Hey, well, they figured out that Pluto isn't a planet like a few years ago. So they're doing some things up there. So that's great.
Yeah, okay, so you're just telling me that my whole third grade education makes no sense, because now Pluto's not a planet, and then Uranus, which is pronounced as Uranus or Uranus, depending on who you are, is also not a planet. I'm just like,
what?
Yeah,
no, Uranus is a planet. What? No.
Uranus is a planet and a hole in your butt.
No, Uranus is a legit planet. My son He's in daycare. He's 3 years old. He knows the planet song, and he knows the dwarf planet song. And Pluto is in the dwarf planet song, and Uranus is in the planet song. Trust me. I've heard it 50 times.
I've never heard a planet song, but cool.
So tell me other conspiracy theories.
Well, let me look through my little list here. I don't want to get too crazy right off the jump.
Okay.
Oh, well, this one is kind of crazy, but this is more recent, that 9/11 was an inside job. The U.S. government orchestrated it. It wasn't as a result of extremist Taliban who did it. However, there was a poll done. So when did 9/11 happen? What year was that?
2011. 01.
Yeah, in like 2011. No. Yeah. So they did a poll in like 2006 where they found that 42% of Americans believed in the fact that the U.S. actually was involved in it. And there are probably a couple of documentaries, whether they're actually considered documentaries or like YouTube, talk about what they think happened. Because one of the big theories is that, or one of the big things, theories that they had to say why it wasn't this a result of the planes hitting the towers, was the way that the buildings crumbled inwards, right? Which be as a result of like explosives being set up. Yeah, I don't know either way. I think it's a tragedy, and I accept it as such. I don't want to in any way disrespect those that passed away, because that's the whole thing, is that so many lives were lost, so many people in the building, so many volunteer firefighters, all of that stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I don't really want to, honestly, I want to touch that one. But I have a light one. You said that was like a mild one. No, I have a light one over here.
Yeah, mild but not light.
Have you ever come across, and let's be honest, all of my conspiracy theories I have pretty much found on TikTok over the years. Oh. So one in particular, which I didn't know until I went down the rabbit hole of TikTok, was that Avril Lavigne, and if you don't know who Avril Lavigne is, she's a Canadian singer. She had like some one-hit wonder. She had like Skater Boy and a few other things.
Not a one-hit wonder. She was popular for a long time.
She was
Skater Boy was her breakout single, but she had a lot of other songs after that.
I just don't know how popular she was in the U.S., but she was very popular in Canada.
She was very popular in the U.S.
But the conspiracy theory is that she died somewhere in around 2003, when she was like becoming really popular, and she was replaced with a body double, a doppelganger named Melissa. So the TikTokers of the world have gone in depth of everything and have analyzed like her face, her like how she walks, how she moves, how she talks. Ridiculous. And they think that there is no more OG Avril Lavigne. There's this doppelganger named Melissa who was portraying Avril Lavigne. And I think even Avril Lavigne is like, no, guys, I just got older.
Exactly. She was like 14 when she came out, and she's like almost in her 40s now. Mm-hmm. They've said the same thing about Britney.
Girl, I have so much on Britney. Do you want to get into Britney right now?
Yeah, might as well.
Oh, okay. You tell me what you have on Britney.
Well, it's kind of like a two-parter, because one, it's like Britney was part of the Illuminati. So that's another like conspiracy theory, that there's this Illuminati that exists where they engage in really questionable things revolving, sacrificial acts. They do a programming as it were to like deprogram you and make you like basically like a sex bot for these young up and coming pop stars. So, and then sometimes they glitch. So Britney's a person that they would say is glitched. Kanye would be somebody that's glitched. And sometimes to like get rid of the problem, they'll just get rid of you so you don't talk about it. And then they like bring in a clone. So a lot of people will be like, she doesn't look the same. Like, why do her teeth look like that now? Her teeth don't look like that 10 years later. I'm like, okay, well, maybe she can't afford new veneers because they were veneers. And she doesn't look well currently as it is. But do I believe that she's a clone and not just older? No, I believe that it's still her. But she's been damaged by the industry for sure.
Absolutely. And by her family as well.
Yeah.
So there's, yeah, and I have two other ones on her.
Ooh.
Britney Spears is a hot topic in the conspiracy world. So people think that she has died. Everyone thinks that people have died. And that her husband, Sam, is using like a body double. And, you know, when she like posts these videos for dancing or anything, like they're using like AI of her face and they're using like a green screen, because the people on TikTok will literally like throw that video into like a software, whatever software they do. They will slow down the video. And there are actually some times where I'm like, oh my God, where's her Britney face? Like it's gone and then it comes back. Or like her hand will be fuzzy and then it comes back. And I'm like, oh, okay. And like a while ago, there was a hashtag like, where is Britney? Because people didn't know, like she kept posting pictures and videos.
Right.
But then like when they like really slowed it down, it's like, that's not her. That's not her. And like they like analyzed it and everything. It was crazy. And then how she just got married last year, I want to say.
It's been longer than that.
Okay. So every picture that she was in, it was like it was taken on a 2005 iPhone. Like it was so blurry. You couldn't see anything. But other pictures of the wedding, when she wasn't in it, it was perfectly fine. But like her pictures of her were so blurry. And then the random celebrities that were invited to it is random.
Selena Gomez was there. She
Selena
looked
was
weird.
there. Yes, Paris Hilton was there. Madonna was there. Other people were there as well. But they don't say, they say a little bit, but they don't say too much. And then the TikTokers, I think like her husband has like posted pictures with some of the guests, but then they literally found that picture of like her husband and that guest at like an award show, like on a red carpet, that whoever, whatever, they like cropped that picture of them out and like threw them with like at like a wedding. Like it is wild what these people do. So I'm literally like, is she dead? I don't know. I don't know. Is she? I don't know. Why does her wedding look like it was filmed on a like 2005 iPhone? It is so bizarre. And then how her ex-husband and her security tried to get into her house the morning of her wedding to do something. What? I don't know. Anyways, there's a lot on Britney, and I don't know. I don't know what's true and what's not anymore.
I don't believe that she's dead. The pictures that I saw from her wedding on her Instagram weren't blurry. I don't recall that being a thing. So
No? I don't know. I saw lots on TikTok, and they really analyzed every little thing.
I definitely saw.
And it
green
made
screen
me
thing I heard
believe.
about.
It made me believe, and I was like, oh my God, maybe. That's so weird. I don't think she's dead either.
Yeah.
I think she's just going through it right now.
Yeah, she needs like professional help, like for sure. Like
Yeah.
her dancing in like what looks like underwear every day is like, Britney Jean, why?
Totally. And yeah, no, absolutely. And like in her videos, I'm looking at one right now. Like she looks like, girl.
She looks wrecked. Like,
Yeah.
comb the
totally.
extensions.
Totally.
You don't have to show me every dress you buy. Like,
No.
I know she feels free and she just wants to express herself, but I'm like, maybe go to a dance studio and like work with somebody and like go through some routines.
Yeah.
She reminds me of, you know, any girl, myself included, who has some, you know, one too many drinks and all of a sudden thinks like your dance moves are like amazing.
Yes.
Like, look, I can moonwalk. It is like, nope, that's not the moonwalk.
No, good try though. Good try.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's so many conspiracy theories around her, especially when you do a deep dive on TikTok. It is crazy what you can find. So I have been like, is that really her? But I think it is her. She just looks like she needs some sleep and some water, and maybe just to get away from the people, just to, you know, hang out by herself for a bit, go to a spa.
Yeah, I think she doesn't know how to be alone. I think part of the problem too. But she's 42 years old. So she's aging and she loves the sun, which is not good for skin.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know if she regularly goes to like filler appointments and things of that sort, right? So,
Yeah. Anyways, what else do you have on your list?
you tell me what you have in your list.
Oh, well, of course I have to bring up Princess Diana because
Ooh.
there's multiple conspiracy theories on her as well. I think I just have like all people. So some people believed that her car crash was completely, planned, implemented by the royal family just to take her out.
The
because
firm
she
put
was
a hit on her.
Yeah, exactly. She was causing just, too much drama. Charles wanted to marry Camilla and everything like that. So they just wanted her out of the picture. So that's one of them. But then there's a note, or there's something, again, I don't know if this is true or false. There is a note, allegedly, that she wrote to like her bodyguard or to her brother or something, stating that she thinks that Charles wants to get rid of her, and she thinks that he wants to get rid of her like in some sort of car crash, car accident, and he's going to do something with the brakes. And like, that's very specific.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's true. There's another conspiracy theory stating that this was all her plan and she's not really dead. She just wanted to get out of the limelight. She wanted the paparazzi to stop following her. She wanted the royal family to get off her back. And she's actually still here. So I don't know.
Yeah, I definitely believed, and I don't think about it much, so I don't know. I can't tell you what I believe now, but I definitely believe that the firm had put a hit on her.
Yeah.
I definitely believe that, which is why it was so hard being like, why would you take her away from her children?
Yeah.
But kind of not comparing, but it's like the way that they just let Harry and Meghan walk away and kind of cut ties. Is it impossible to think that they could be like that? The institution?
Well, I was going to say, remember, it's not a family. It's the institution. Yeah. So they're doing whatever's best for the institution, not for the family. So totally. Maybe they, gave the driver some drinks that night. Maybe someone gave the driver some more drink. Like, who knows what really went down? But those were some of the theories out there that people think. Either way, that's horrible. And if she's still here, hey, good for her.
I wonder what Meghan thinks, since she had no idea that these people existed before.
Right.
I wonder how, when she learned for the first time that Princess Diana was dead when she first started dating Harry maybe 7 years ago, what she thought, since she had no clue before that.
Kristen's being super sarcastic right now.
Super sarcastic.
What do you think? Do you think that the institution maybe did something?
I definitely think they were involved. Her happiness and everything, and the divorce at that time where we were in the 90s, I guess it happened. Like that divorce was frowned upon, like everything. She was, like anything that gave her attention where she was telling the truth, they didn't want it. Her dating somebody else and moving on, like it's almost like they were projecting to deflect from the fact, like, hey, your son, the prince, now the king, was having an affair with this woman for their whole entire marriage, and then they got married, and now she's a queen consort, which shouldn't even happen.
Yeah.
And they're just being like, oh no, you're the bad person here. So yeah, I don't think that, I don't put it past me. I also, growing up with Prince William and Prince Harry, I don't want to perpetuate that because that's very painful for them.
Totally.
Like, how do you reconcile whether or not your family, the institution, had something to do with your mother's death? Like, it gives me a little bit of an ick.
Yeah, it is 100%. That's truly terrible. Ugh. Anyways, but there's lots around Princess Diana, so those were the top few. What else do you have?
Well, I mean, we can talk about it very briefly, but if you're talking about people and faking deaths, they say that Elvis Presley faked his death.
I did hear about that. Why?
I don't know. This is way beyond my time, so I can't even understand why he would want to do that, or if that was an option. Music was his life, and he got very heavy and was very involved with drugs. So an overdose to me seems realistic. Where does he live now? Mexico? Like, where do you go? You're Elvis Presley.
He lives with on an island with Princess Diana.
Yeah, okay, you know what? That actually makes sense.
With Michael Jackson as well, obviously.
Oh, is there a rumor that he didn't really die either? I mean, I guess everybody didn't really die. I guess it can be a conspiracy. Yeah.
Yeah, and they're all living on the island, on some private island together.
Yeah. And the island might just ironically be named like heaven.
Right, exactly.
The afterlife.
Like, yeah, well, I'm just thinking about like the Elvis one. Like, I can see an overdose. Yeah, do an overdose. Make him sound like he died. Yeah, but he probably did if he was a singer and a famous singer, and probably just happened.
On the flip side, there's people that have committed suicide that they say didn't really commit suicide because they were going to expose other more nefarious acts, right? Like Anthony Bourdain, they say, didn't die by suicide. He was going to expose something, and in order to like stop him from exposing, I think it might have been child sex trafficking or something, they got rid of him.
Oh my God.
Paul Walker, my favorite actor, the love of my life from the Fast and Furious franchise, they say that they got rid of him because he was very much not a Hollywood guy, that they offed him so that he wouldn't expose people.
That's just bad. Just leave people, because he got into a wicked car accident, didn't he?
Yeah, well, that's the irony, right? It's just like, he had a love of cars and racing, and then they get into an accident because they're turning a corner, and then the car crashes into a tree.
Yeah.
Like,
Something
what?
doesn't add up.
Yeah. The math isn't mathing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But I don't want to talk about that too much because I get upset.
We will. We'll move past. Well, why don't we talk about Area 51?
That was going to be my next one. Or the bigger question of like aliens being real. But yeah, Area 51. Totally.
Area 51 is so, I guess it's so intriguing to me because no one really knows what happens behind, I don't know, that huge gate or fence or whatever you want to call it. And it's like, it's a huge, huge area. People just assume, but we don't know what they're doing. Mm-hmm. So it's, I don't know, I find it a little fascinating. I'm quite curious.
It is super fascinating and interesting. A Gallup poll from 2019 said that 68% of Americans do believe that the government is hiding information about UFOs.
Yeah. I think I read something like they think that there's aliens and spacecrafts or whatever somewhere inside of Area 51.
What I do find interesting is Elon Musk, who has SpaceX and does a lot of rocket launches, if not to minimize it, I might not be using the correct term, and is heavily into space and all things space, and has said on numerous podcasts that he has not seen any evidence that there's any life yet, and if he did, he would share it, but he hasn't seen it, any evidence of such. I'm like, okay, I mean, he's a valid source since that's what he does as part of his job, but I'm just like, how can the universe be so big and it's just us?
Yeah, I don't believe that. I don't believe it. Maybe they're in different galaxies. Maybe, like, who knows? But there's more life somewhere.
Which then speaks to what one of our previous Canadian ministers of security, I forget, and other people believe that there's actually aliens like on Earth disguised as humans.
Yeah,
there's like these reptilian shape-shifting aliens that are people that are in influential positions in the world that are controlling everything. Yikes. I mean, I've seen one or two people in the world that look kind of like lizards.
They could maybe be aliens.
Yeah.
Like, if it came out that there were aliens among us, like, I don't think I would be surprised.
Oh, I thought you were going to say, I would be fine with it. I'm like, I would be terrified.
No, I would not be fine with it. I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, at this point, right? It's just like, it's like that would actually make a lot of sense at this point.
Exactly. Like, depending, like, if it was a, high up person that everyone knows, if they're wonky or a little, like, I don't know, if they're a loose cannon or whatever, it'd be like, yeah, that makes sense.
Right.
So yeah, people believe that there's, I don't know, stuff in Area 51, but no one will really know. And then there was something back in the think it was like 2019. It was like a joke on Facebook. It was like an event called Storm Area 51. They can't stop all of us. And like thousands of people like were outside the gates of Area 51 trying to get inside.
I do remember that. Something like that. They're like, we need answers.
Yeah, I don't think they got any answers, guys.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely want to know, like, is there aliens?
Who do you
Are they
think
here?
knows? Like, who do you think knows? The top people in the U.S.? Or do you think other people know?
I think the 1%ers of this world know. And do I think all branches of government know? Probably not. But maybe ones that have to do with, like, defense and, you know, NASA related stuff probably have an idea.
Yeah.
But then I guess like we're looking at it through a North American lens. Wouldn't it, if the other side of the world who maybe aren't, you know, fans of the US, wouldn't it be worth it to them to like blow up US's spot and say, hey, Area 51 full of aliens. We know that there's aliens. And we're going to tell everybody about it. So I'm like, on that, you know, there's that aspect too, where it's like, if you want to be in the race to identify aliens first, Soviet Union, like maybe they would have said something.
Yeah. But also, there's probably not just like one spot on, you know,
Well, yeah.
on the entire Earth that, you know, has aliens. I'm sure other places in Europe, in Asia, have aliens as well.
But then it would make more sense that the aliens are here on the Earth and they're suppressing this information.
Yeah, it's so true. Oh my gosh, we are going down the hole, Krista.
Which also makes sense because people ask Elon Musk if he's an alien, and he does give a little reptilian vibe, right? Like
Yeah.
maybe.
So if he comes out as an alien in like 30 years, we'll be like, nah, called that.
I mean, he does have interesting mannerisms, and he is very hairless. And it's like people like that are just like, something is off.
Yeah.
A grown man that's hairless, something is off.
Chris is not into it.
If you're blonde, like maybe I could get it, but it's just like,
Too funny. You're an alien.
yeah.
There was another one, a recent one, conspiracy theory, that with all of the wildfires in Canada happening in 2023, people are thinking that it's part of a global climate change scam.
Yeah.
Climate change lockdowns are starting, guys.
Oh, that's what they think it's for. It's to keep everybody indoors?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Well,
I remember hearing that they're saying it's arsonists.
yeah, like you should probably stay indoors if the smoke and the air quality is really bad, depending on your health. It's because it's not good for you to breathe in. But
Yeah.
there's just, you know, Canada's just burning right now.
It's so true. There's this website you can go to. I think it's a NASA website where you can see all the wildfires in North America, and Canada is lit up. Lit up.
Check it out.
Yeah. I will say that I did work for an insurance company well over 10 years ago that dealt with like property and casualty. And like for wildfires were like a known thing that we insured against, especially in the West, because those were known to happen every year, like clockwork. So these wildfires have been happening. I can't talk about Quebec and stuff because that shit's new to me. But out in the prairies and things of that sort, like this isn't new. This has been happening years over years over years over years over years. So
Yeah.
when they say like people have like set these things on fire, I'm like, meh.
No,
Yeah.
it just happens every year. It's just really bad this year.
Yeah. So it does. I mean, it stands. If people don't believe, okay, maybe they don't believe in climate change, but I mean, I remember being a young kid, them saying like, you know, the ozone layer is being depleted based on all of like the toxic things we use and aerosols and all that. It's slowly depleting our ozone layer. And when the ozone layer depletes, the weather will change, and where it's warm will get cold, and where it's cold will get warm. So this isn't information that's new to me. Like they were telling us this like since the 80s.
Yeah.
So if the sun becomes stronger, of course, if it's beating down on dry brush, it's going to set shit on fire.
Totally. I think this just came all up and on the news and everything because the smoke and the air quality kind of drifted into the US and US, but you kind of were very dramatic about it. Like, we're sorry that our smoke and our air quality and everything drifted into your country, but can you imagine everyone that lost their homes and everything? That's what happens. There's actually like no wall between the countries. Your air is our air is your air. So,
but it's wild how it did that, because did you see some of the footage from people's TikToks in New York and how ominous the sky was?
Yes, like it was not that bad here as in New York. Yes,
that's how wild it was. But I mean, creepy. At the same, Quebec and New York on the like share like a body of water, so it makes sense. Like Montreal's just this little island, right? And if it's coming from like areas around that, I could see how it goes into New York and just kind of we're a little bit more west. But yeah, it's just like it's Armageddon in New York City, and we're just here in Toronto being like it's a bit hazy.
No, literally,
it's a bit smoggy, but
here,
yeah,
but we're okay.
But it doesn't look like the scene out of a Will Smith movie.
Truly. Take cover. Oh my gosh. What else do you have?
Fun. This is light and fun, that the earth is flat.
Oh, the classic one. Yeah. Do people still believe that the earth is flat?
Some people still believe. I mean, I think like the flat earth thing is like one of the newer theories, it feels like. Like, I don't remember 20 years ago people talking about it, but then maybe I wasn't paying attention then. When these theories come up, I do entertain the logical aspects about it at first, being like, is this possible? Granted, I know nothing about geography or anything to do with that to like confirm, but I'm like, they say that the earth is flat. It's like a dome. It's really like a snow globe. And the planes aren't going around the globe in a sphere, they're going around in a circle. And I'm like, interesting. And they're like, and then there's clouds up here, and then there's ice around here, and I'm like, yeah, but when you track a plane, because you can track it, you see it not go in a circle. It goes the flight path, whether that's around the globe or whatever. It's not going in a circle. So I'm like, okay, this doesn't make sense. But then there's a documentary on Netflix.
No, there's not. Is there really?
Funnier. Yes, highly recommend that you watch it. It came out, I think, maybe 5 years ago now. It's called Behind the Curve.
Oh my god.
And it's about flat earthers. So it's not even like people who believe that the earth is a sphere debunking. It's the flat earthers and talking with them about their beliefs about the earth being flat. And they're like, there's at least one group that says, we're going to prove by doing this experiment in real time and film it that the earth is flat. So watch it so you can see how their experiment ends up.
Okay.
And some of these people are like educated people.
Wow. Interesting.
Like, like scientists almost. And they're like, yes, the earth is flat. And I'm like, okay.
But then that's like, not that I'm influenced, but like if you tell me you're a scientist and then you tell me that you believe that the earth is flat, then I double guess myself. Like, I'm like, is it really flat? No, because I believe that, like, I'm like, oh, you're a scientist. Okay. You're very smart. You're educated, like whatever. But then you tell me that the earth is flat. I'm like, oh, is it? Yikes.
Well, good on you for giving people the education so much credit. Because I'm like, sometimes the most educated people are the ones that lack the most common sense, in my opinion. So it's like, if they're like, I'm a credible person and this and that. I'm like, well, there you go.
But I guess for me, I just like second guess myself. I'm like, wait, is it? No, it's not. It's not. Okay, got it. Moving on.
Of course, like if somebody says that they're educated in that area, I'm gonna be like, you know what? I'm gonna give you the benefit of the doubt to explain, so that I can like assimilate that information and then figure out if like I have it wrong. But no, there hasn't been a convincing argument for me where it's like, okay, you say this, okay, I can accept that. But then it gets to the point where I'm like, okay, I didn't really do physics, but what you're saying doesn't make sense from a physics perspective.
Yeah, it's funny.
Because it's a conspiracy theory. And I'm like, I don't know what the benefit is to telling us it's a sphere versus it being flat.
Yeah.
But I guess I think one of their reasonings was like gravity. It's like, why don't we fall off the earth? It's like, oh, we don't because it's a dome. It's a snow globe. And I'm like, no, we don't, because the earth revolves it spins at a rapid rate that keeps us pushed down onto the earth. That's why we don't fall off the earth. Mm-hmm. But maybe the scientists miss that part of like
schooling.
Yeah.
That's funny. What else do you have?
There's this thing called the Mandela Effect. Have you heard about that?
Yes.
So the theory that like some things that we remember for whatever reason, like we all have the same memory, but it's not real.
Yes.
Like two of the big ones that I can think of right now is like Fruit of the Loom. They said that their logo had the cornucopia, and then they're like, no, we never had it. It turns out that they lied about that. I absolutely remember they had a cornucopia. And then there's another one where there's a childhood book, The Bernstein Bears, and we all remember it to be spelled a certain way, and it's not that way. Like we all remember it to be spelled with an E, but it's really with an A.
Yes.
But
I'm pretty sure, sorry to go back, I'm pretty sure it's like a TikTok thing, and people had to like, it like, the logos, like the real logo came up, and then the logo that we thought came up, and then you had to like guess which one. Like there was like 20 in a row, and it blows your mind what you think you remember what it is, but it wasn't. And Fruit of the Loom and the Bernstein Bears, they're examples.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what they're saying now is that really it's alternate realities or timelines, and there's been a manipulation of timelines to kind of erase what we actually remember. Now that's like a whole Marvel universe kind of explanation, but that's what they're attributing to, that there's powers that be that are actually manipulating the realities and tampering with the timeline, which is why what we remember technically doesn't exist. But I'm like, how do we all remember it? We all can picture it in our brain.
And that's the scary part, right?
But isn't it scary that the mainstream world is trying to tell us that didn't happen?
Yes. Because then it makes us crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I'm looking at them right now. Literally. If you just Google Mandela Effect examples, and you can go through them and then try to guess. And it's crazy. Yeah. So everyone do that and let us know what has surprised you. Just Google Mandela Effect examples and let us know what has surprised you. Good one.
And one was about like CP3O, and that he really wasn't all gold. He has a silver leg. I'm like, but I barely remember Star Wars. So I'm like, okay. Oh, yeah. Nelson Mandela dying was one, too, that he had died. I thought that he had died like a long time ago.
Yeah, I thought that, too, just because, yeah, 100%.
Oh, and Looney Tunes.
Yeah, so Krista is currently going through the examples right now.
Yeah, I remember seeing these before. Curious George.
George's Tail.
Yeah, these are all lies. These are all lies now, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. Febreze, like how you spell Febreze.
Mm-hmm. Skechers I never remembered with a T, so I'm like...
Mm-hmm. Fruit Loops. The Monopoly Man... And it's like monocle or not a monocle.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. See, this is all, they're all trying to make us think things didn't happen that happened.
Pikachu's tail, if it has black on it or it doesn't.
Yeah,
Kit Kat,
I would never know.
It has like, yeah, see, it's just literally crazy. So go through it. See if you can tell us what you get. Tell us what surprised you. Because I've done this one on TikTok, literally. It was like a TikTok trend, and I literally did it by myself. And I was like, how do I not know these?
Cheez-Its? No, it was always Cheez-It.
Or was it?
Double stuffed Oreo? I wouldn't know because I hate them. Yeah. It's the Flintstones, not the Flintstones. No, see, lies.
Krista does not believe this at all.
Yeah. I mean, I don't believe everything that the media tells me. And in this case, I'm like, you're lying about some shit for sure. I refuse to accept that.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. What else do you have?
5G technology.
Tell us. Mm-hmm.
Well, there is speculation amongst a certain population that 5G is really something deadly and can cause like grave like health issues. Yeah. And 5G is not safe for us, and the pandemic was a big distraction in order to like install these 5G like towers. Mm-hmm. I'm like, okay. So, okay, so let's think this through. So we want the 5G tower to like be there because we want everybody to get sick. I mean, in the US, yeah, you get everybody to get sick. That's how you get paid, right? Especially those private insurers. But I'm like, okay, in Canada, there's like a cap to how much like somebody can get paid. So they want to just kill everybody. I'm like, okay, so if they want to kill everybody, then like more than likely the people that die first are the people that don't have a lot of means financially, and they're the ones doing the jobs that we don't want. So we're killing off like people that do like custodial work and all of these kind of things, you know, garbage people, so that we can have like smelly streets and like dirty toilets. Like that's the part that doesn't make sense to me. I'm like, why do we want to kill off people if that's the case?
Yeah. It just doesn't add up in my head.
Yeah.
Sorry if anyone believes that.
I know people that believe it directly.
Wow. So wait,
Like,
because I get 5G on my cell phone.
yeah, we all have been pushed towards 5G at this point.
So wait, so do they not have cell phones? Do they refuse to get like an upgraded version of their cell phone to prevent not going on 5G? Like, how does that work?
Yeah, I guess they wait as long as they can and stay on the 4G network until forced. I don't know if there's a way to manipulate your internet to like not go to 5G.
Got it. Meanwhile, I'm like, how do I get on 5G? I want to get my shit faster.
But I mean, that doesn't stop. Like, if it's the tower that's the issue, like, is it just you're thinking just your cell phone is a transmitter? Like, anything is a transmitter. Everything is so Bluetooth enabled.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, radio signals and signals still pass through. You can't see them.
It's true. Do you have anything else? I have nothing else on my list. Although, like, I feel like there's so many conspiracy theories out there. We could have like a part 2, a part 3 on this, but do you have anything else you want to add for this episode?
This one is more like American based. We don't have to go through it, but I guess speaking about like who controls the world and the 1%ers, and then the conspiracy theories that it's the Rothschild family that actually controls everything.
Who is that family? I've heard of them. Remind me.
They're like a family that has a lot of wealth and they accumulate it through banking. They're families of Jewish origin, so so the Rothschild name carries like a strong it holds weight, and they are rich, most of them. So the theory is though that they actually control more than what people think. So they control globally, like the markets, and manipulate markets as they need to. They pull the strings.
Like, I'm sure they do. Like,
there is a handful of people pulling the
power.
strings. Yeah.
Like, if you're in that type of power, I'm sure you do at the end. You have some sort of say.
Of course, money is power.
Yeah, exactly. And if you have that much, I'm sure you have say in certain things. I'm sure they know what's behind the gates of Area 51.
Right. They know if aliens exist. And if they are aliens themselves, they know.
Exactly.
100%. On the flip side of that, though I don't want to end this podcast on a bad note, but I can't not say it, is that there are people that believe that the Holocaust didn't happen either. Which is kind of wild.
Yeah. And
So like you're saying World War II didn't happen?
right. And I think there's some conspiracy theories around COVID too, but we can get into that in another episode.
Yeah, I don't even know if I want to go backwards and get into it, but
But there are. I just wanted to highlight that there are lots of conspiracy theories around COVID.
we just want everybody to be safe. I want everybody to be safe. Take control of your health. If anything you can do with what you eat and ingest over any kind of like pharmaceuticals, we can definitely, at least me, encourage that. But I can't speak on behalf of everybody and what they should do. I'm not trained.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Do you have anything else on your list before we wrap up, Krista?
No, I don't think I want to talk about anything else.
Well, I think we definitely touched a number of different conspiracy theories, from people to things to lots of different things, but there's still so much more to talk about in terms of conspiracy theories. So maybe we'll make a part 2 later. Who knows?
Sure, yeah. For our listeners, definitely, what are some conspiracy theories that we haven't talked about that needs to be talked about, and where do you stand on them? Also, please, as always, rate and review. We love feedback. That's how we can get better. That's how we can give you the topics that you want to hear about. We always want to hear from you.
Follow us on all the socials. We are pretty active and they're pretty hilarious. So follow us there. And until next time, Krista, I guess I will chat with you on Tuesday.
Yeah, I'll see you next week, girl.
See ya. Bye.
Bye.